If pumpkin pies and cheesecakes are a little too heavy for you, I've got a lighter alternative right here. Welcome back to Vintage Recipe Hero, where this week we are making pumpkin orange custards. This autumn, I have made 2 pumpkin pie recipes for this channel, and I am on to the last cup out of the only can of pumpkin puree that I am willing to buy this season. I was gobsmacked when I saw the price of pumpkin puree this year, and it didn't even go on sale for Canadian Thanksgiving. $6.49 across the board. I think last year it was like $5.49 across the board. So I actually froze this last cup of pumpkin while I commiserated over what my last pumpkin recipe this season would be. I was going to make another vintage pumpkin pie, but I thought, let's do something different. Let's make a custard. And also, a custard is something deceptively impressive because people have the idea that it's very fancy and sophisticated, but actually it's the dessert that non-bakers can make. Now, that all being said about the pumpkin, I froze this last cup and it's looking a little strange. I've never baked with frozen, defrosted, pureed pumpkin, so I hope that it's okay and it doesn't give this recipe a weird texture. I also hope that this recipe does not have a weird flavor because while I love pumpkin with spices and orange with spices, I have not tried pumpkin and orange together with spices. I'm sure it will be fine though because we're not using that much orange zest, only 1/8 of a teaspoon, which always confuses me because my instinct is to zest the whole fruit. But I did that once for a snow pudding recipe and the texture was just way off. So I'm not going to make that mistake again. One last thing to note before we start this recipe is that this recipe makes 4 little ramekins of pumpkin orange custard. However, the ramekins that I bought came in a 3-pack and I'm a household of 2, so I don't need 6 ramekins. So I'm gonna have 3 gorgeous pumpkin orange custards, if this recipe works out, and 1 ultra overcooked flatty, because this is the only other oven-safe thing that I can bake. This is dirty. How did this get dirty? Things just get dirty here. Anyways, you want to have your ramekins at the ready because this recipe is really quick to whip up, and do make sure that you have a tray that all your little ramekins fit in. Please do test this before you start baking. Just a humble tip from experience. So if you've tested and prepped everything, then you're ready to go. I'm ready to go, and we can get started right now. Pumpkin water thing all over the place.
Please don't spill. Oh! This towel gets so wrinkly after you wash. I have to iron it every time, so I don't really want to get it dirty. Perfect, it's almost to the top.
Sweet dreams. This might be the shortest video tutorial I've ever recorded because that was really short, wasn't it? These smell so good. My house smells like pumpkin spice and autumn, and I'm not even going to wait to try this. I have no advice to give really, except that you know they're done when the knife comes out clean, and yeah, that was really simple. Pumpkin orange custard. Here we go. Oh, texture looks really nice. It looks thick but soft and creamy. For such a simple recipe, this texture is perfect. We didn't strain it. I had weird lumpy pumpkin, and it's smooth, creamy, and thick, but it just melts in your mouth. It's delightful. Like it won't come out of this jar. That bit was already loose. That was from my spoon. See, like it won't come out of this jar, but it's smooth and creamy, but not too rich. I used whole milk for mine, not light cream, so mine actually isn't too rich, I promise you. The spices, just a bit of cinnamon and ginger, go perfectly obviously with the pumpkin, but also the orange zest gives it a kind of Christmassy taste and feel. Orange, pumpkin, cinnamon, and ginger is my new favorite foursome. I rate this recipe 10 out of 10. There's nothing wrong with it. It was quick. It honestly took 10 minutes to assemble. It was easy. All you do is mix everything non-discriminately and pour it in ramekins. Bake it for an hour, and then you're done. 10 out of 10 will surprise everyone at your next dinner party. 10 out of 10 will get rated 10 out of 10 by everyone because it's so delicious. Except the pumpkin spice haters. I'll see you next week for another vintage recipe on Vintage Recipe Hero. I hope it's as good as this one. I almost forgot to show you the big flatty. I left it in the water back here. Okay, I have to admit something first though. I did take a tiny bite of this when it came out. I just wanted to make sure it was done or not overdone. This also baked perfectly. It's the same consistency as the ones in the ramekins. So if you don't have little ramekins, which my fiance didn't even know what a ramekin was, you can bake them in little mini casserole things. Or also if you just want a bigger portion, you can bake it in this guy. Okay, now that's truly the end. I'll see you next week. Bye.